Hello, myself Sunil R Nair. Here basically we are discussing one of the topic that is city creation. City creation basically we are discussing one of the topic that is India creation. So one of the person told that in this basically the future creation is also basically one of the entry, that how basically the future creation basically are done. I will take one example. India basically was not winning the match after 1983. So India, the BCCI group basically, that is the European group basically, they basically told that basically that is your problem basically, that is India's problem basically, why India is not winning the match. So that was Indian cricket team basically. Cricket team means who are basically interested in cricket. That business group means that is the Adani group, that is the Ambani group, that is the Tata groups, that are the Infosys group, that are the IBM group, that are the Microsoft group. Because Microsoft is also giving the business, sorry, taking the business from India. So he will also basically contribute in future India win match. So he was this everything, every group basically told that basically, yeah, India is not winning the India is not winning the match. So one of the planner group basically, this everything comes into one topic basically, that is future plan. In India account basically it is comes into the future plan. In future plan basically sports future plan. In sports future plan, cricket future plan. So one of the person told that, yeah, matlab, why basically they basically tracked one person, one group basically, who basically are creating problem basically in cricket. As in that group basically are around 120 group basically. So they basically what done basically, they basically never thought basically of the, because they were not having the other data also basically, because cricket is not everything basically. Cricket is not everything basically. Cricket is just one of the small part of investment basically. So they told that basically we will do one thing, we will kill this group only basically. That are who basically? Tata Group, Ambani's group, then the Adani groups, then the Infosys, IBM, Microsoft. This all basically group told that they basically track, because it's a data science project basically. In this data science project, there are many companies basically in Vadodara city. They basically are good into the data science. They basically tracks basically where the problem is coming basically, and they takes money basically, big money basically they tracks. So assume that basically there are 120 people basically, they were basically creating problem to India win World Cup match. That is assume that basically that was 2011 World Cup basically. And they told that basically, yeah, basically because planner groups are very dangerous group basically. So they told that basically we don't know few data basically, so it's a risk basically. Winning the World Cup basically, it might create problem to entire sports industry also sometime basically, because each sports industry basically are connected with each other basically, which decision they are taking, which decision they are not taking, like this basically each and everything basically they are connected, because anything basically it might possible that entire sports also basically can end due to one decision. So assume that basically they taken the decision and they told that basically we have tracked this 120 people basically, they are creating problem to cricket India World Cup. So the group planner group basically they are very far good basically in planning. They told that basically it's a risk basically, so we have to do some plan basically. So they told that basically Dhoni basically, we have to save Dhoni group basically. So how basically we can save Dhoni group? So few people told that basically when the World Cup basically this match is going to happen, that time the original Dhoni is going to be play, going to play. After that basically we will tell him basically you can exit from the cricket only. So for that basically they told that basically we need some around 500 duplicate Dhoni basically, who can be exactly going to play like that basically, like Dhoni style, Dhoni hand, Dhoni talk style, Dhoni looking style, Dhoni hairstyle, Dhoni hand style, Dhoni walking style. So they prepared 500 Dhoni. So see the planning, see basically. In this doctors group basically contributed. Why? Because few group basically were few group told that basically we have created the Dhoni medicine basically. If you will eat that medicine basically you will exactly do whatever Dhoni habit is, Dhoni this, that basically January. So they basically created that basically. Everything is done basically. Now basically what they have done basically. They basically told that basically this might person basically can create problem to in future basically. This group basically, but they know that basically it's a risk basically, so we can't take a risk basically. So they basically have told that basically in future basically we will finish that particular people's future only basically. So in this basically, do you know what they have done? They have done one marriage basically of the 120 people basically. They were actually assumed that basically all were male basically, and they basically killed their future only basically, killed their future basically. So one of the person told them how they killed their future basically. They basically literally done the marriage of that particular 120 people, and they basically done nasbandi of entire 120 people basically. Like this basically they finished the future only basically. But they know that basically there is a risk. They tracked the risk also. When they were basically doing the nasbandi, that time basically they tracked that basically the risk factor basically came into the picture, because each and every activity when you do na basically for that particular person, immediately basically the live data gets activated. So that time basically they thought that basically there is a risk, so we will do only nasbandi only. Actually they were going to kill basically. In this big software company also supported that group basically, because after nasbandi basically few days basically you have to take the rest. So like this basically they killed that particular person. 120 people basically, from 120 basically few people basically placed in Dubai, because Dubai is the cricket ka adda basically. Everything basically happens from Dubai basically. That is the betting industry basically. Half of the money basically in Dubai are of betting basically. So they basically first few people basically sent to Dubai. They basically killed few people basically, and they thought that basically slowly basically we will kill the each and every people basically. Like this basically they have done the future basically of the cricket basically, and they basically won the World Cup also basically. But in this basically anything has happened basically. Nothing has happened basically. Corona happened basically. That was basically the natural disaster. 100 crore people basically died. That was basically not due to the World Cup Dhoni basically, which has hit on six. That was basically not done of the on the base of that basically. So one of the person told that yes, here basically it's a risk basically. So one of the person told that sports has not ended basically. Sport has not ended. So one of the person told that basically. On the last day of world basically, when world will end basically, that time basically what would be the all conditions basically. In this basically cricket will be would be the one condition, because it's a satellite group basically. They do the perfect plan basically. They told that basically it might possible that this match basically over, after that basically world ended, or basically this match will be ongoing, that time basically world ended. In the stadium, and the stadium is where basically it is, where all the stadiums are basically. Mumbai Wankhede Stadium is there. Narendra Damodar Modi Stadium, Ahmedabad is there. So Ahmedabad city has taken as a condition basically. Mumbai city has taken as a condition basically. In Hyderabad also basically one stadium is there. In Bangalore also basically one stadium is there. In Vadodara city is also basically Reliance Stadium is there basically. So Vadodara also taken as a condition basically. So assume that basically one match is ongoing. That match over, few team basically won. Immediately world ended basically. Because why? That was the condition basically. That match was ongoing basically, which was ongoing means some match basically is ongoing, and this player is doing the ball, and the bowler basically who was doing the ball basically, his coach basically was from Vadodara city, and the batsman basically who was doing the batting basically, his coach basically was from Mumbai city basically. So that was one condition actually, and in this condition basically the city also came into the picture. So just see basically one of the person told that each and everything basically is very connected basically. So it's not easy. It's not easy basically. So one of the person told that India actually created by whom basically? That is Hitler basically. So Hitler is will be going to be responsible. His entire group will be responsible because India is created by Hitler basically. So he will be responsible for this condition. That is match which is ongoing, match is going to be, match will be ongoing. That time world ended, everything began. And Hitler basically was from Bihar, and Bihar is basically of the Sri Krishna God land. So ultimately, Sri Krishna will be responsible. That is the Sri Krishna Bhagwan. So unnecessary, but God basically came into trouble. Unnecessary, God came into the trouble basically. Because they killed 120 people basically in Dubai. So one of the person told that यार एक क्रिकेट ने तो पूरी दुनिया की बैंड बजा दी. The world ended basically on the base of cricket. Cricket basically on the base of cricket basically the world ended. But the cricket basically who created the cricket basically, he has not created the cricket basically that world will end basically on the base of, and in world end basically one of the condition will be cricket basically. He actually that person basically poor person basically might not have thought this basically yeah basically. He basically never has thought that basically. That cricket be also basically will be the one condition basically. And sport basically is never going to end. That everybody knows basically. And cricket especially will never going to end basically from this until basically world will not end basically. Cricket will not end basically. That's why basically one of the person told that cricket has also taken as a condition basically. So one of the person told that which are the things basically which will never going to end. One is cricket, another is sports, third is companies basically. They are basically never going to end. Other basically, if company will end basically, then basically from where the money is going to come basically. The malls basically, the shops, the nuclear power plants, the energy group, the power company. This everything basically never going to end basically. So here basically we are not discussing that basically. But here the thing is each and everything to be has to be connected basically. So here basically we have taken what basically future data. In India account basically there was one written line basically that is future data. In future data, sports future data. In sports future data, cricket future data. And cricket basically is a big businessman basically connects with the cricket basically. So cricket will never end basically. That I am telling you basically. Because big businessmen are connected here basically. Then how basically it is going to end? Government also basically can't do anything. Why? Because government has created the cricket stadium only basically. That is Narendra Damodar Modi Stadium basically. So you can just imagine cricket will never end. Somebody know that basically cricket might end also. So we have to do something. So he basically placed Narendra Damodar Modi Stadium basically, and this is done basically. Once the thing is done, basically, you can't do anything basically. And Congress knows that basically everything basically they have created, each thing basically it's a risky thing basically. So they created each and every parties, Congress, BSP, BJP, Samajwadi, this party, those party, Aam Aadmi party. So you can just imagine basically the things basically. So you can just imagine basically the things. So one of the person told that everything basically is going to be taken as a condition basically. So Hitler group basically never thought that basically, or basically he will be going to be taken as a condition basically on the means world end basically condition. He never basically might have thought basically that his creation basically will create problem to him basically. This connects to me also basically. I basically given training to lots of people basically. They are basically into big software companies like Accenture, Microsoft, and I'm basically searching for job basically and not getting the job basically. So you can just imagine basically conditions basically. Conditions basically you can just imagine. So here basically what we are discussing future data. In future data basically we have discussed sports basically. Cricket equal to every sports basically you can add. I have taken sports data, sports future. Then basically in future basically sports future is done basically. Sports future mostly basically are connected with the software future also basically. Software company future also. Software company future also. Because people say that basically majorly software companies which are created in India na basically that groups are connected with cricket, and they have created their software companies on the base of cricket only basically. The 1 crore people basically who died in Indian population basically, their family basically data basically are handled by one of the software companies only basically. They can't basically keep multiple software companies basically because it's very risky data basically. If anybody will know that basically that 1 crore Indian family has died or basically shifted, or basically half of the population was ended, Pakistani's family, Bangladeshi family, and Rohingya Muslims, they shifted long before from 1983. This is ongoing. So people will basically literally will become mad basically that यार basically क्या हो क्या रहा है. Especially in Mumbai basically. Why? In Mumbai basically more than 20 lakh mixed populations are there of Rohingya Muslims, Pakistanis and Bangladeshis family basically. Yeah. And this basically are done on the base of approval of government basically. And government is controlling the Mumbai city like this, and this is the way basically they have used. And in politics basically lost 90 percentage politics are connected with the Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh. They have used this way. They have used this way basically. They basically tells that we can handle India like this way only basically. And they have done everything is done basically. Yeah, basically 1 crore Indian basically are killed basically. So you can just imagine basically everything is done. So you can just imagine basically. So one of the person told that This also basically comes into the future data basically. Just now basically which I discussed. That was political future data. In future data, sports future data. After sports future data, political future data, software companies future data, software companies future data. In Mumbai, basically 90 percentage companies basically are connected with the crickets, and cricket basically by default are connected with the governments, because government and police basically both are one basically. So you can just imagine basically the things basically. So another person told that this way basically the entire creation has happened basically. So in next video basically we are going to see little bit more about this topic, that is future data in India account, in Hindustan account.